Hello. I am just trying to get this all set up here. Go on to my Facebook. Make sure that I'm here. Oh, here we are. All right. Here we go. Looks like we got 2 people here. I'm going to... Okay, so Facebook has this awesome option that you are able to share your screen now, which wasn't before. But the thing is you can either share your screen or you can share yourself. So I just have my camera open on my computer here to share myself with you. And I'm just giving it a minute for a few people to come on. I'm super excited to do this, also super nervous. I have yet to do a Facebook Live on my computer here, so this is all new to me. So that's one of the reasons that I was inspired to do this, is to just kind of learn, because really the only way that you can learn is by doing, right? So here I am. Okay. So you guys can see my screen. I see there's a couple people on here. Can you hear me? Am I being heard? My thing looks like it's a pretty bad delay here. All right, so how's everybody doing? We're all set here. I am going to start here from the slideshow. First of all, I just wanted to thank everyone who's being here. I am Nicole Wilson, and I'm here today to share with you my 7-step marketing process, which is for heart-centered entrepreneurs, or soulpreneurs, if you prefer to be called. I am the founder of Cusp of Life Coaching, where I provide marketing support and coaching. Again, my name is Nicole Wilson. Marketing really is one of my passions that I've been studying, and I've been living it since high school. And it's the reason why I was so inspired to start my own business doing this. I have reframed the concept of marketing, and one of the terms that I reframed is marketing. To me, it equals connection. So that's something to remember as we're going through this process, that really marketing just equals connection to your audience and to the world. I mainly work with individuals who have made a commitment to giving the world the gift of their true voice. And since each voice is unique, my collaboration with each client is very individualized. I do only have a few clients in my marketing programs, where we do, weekly reach outs and work on stuff together during the week. And that's just a choice that I make, is to work with fewer clients, really one-on-one like that. So I really have the ability to put myself into the work. And then this is just my background. I have 2 associate degrees. I am a professional certified mindfulness and transformational life coach. And the last position that I held before I started my own business was a marketing and events coordinator. And through my coaching, I just want to introduce to you the Cusp Culture community. You can visit us at cuspculture.com. It is actually, it's more of a platform where all of my one-on-one clients are able to grow and do things as they inspire themselves. We have a podcast on there. We're working on doing some online courses right now. And we also have a blog that each member contributes to. The blog posts are published on Fridays. And at Cusp Culture, you can see here, we all believe that growth happens just outside your comfort zone. We live to inspire just one person, and we let that propel us. And that's really something with this, like me doing this, sharing my 7-step marketing process. Like one of my intentions with it is just to reach one person, have that one person really get something out of this. And to me, that makes it all worth it. At Cusp Culture, we speak our truth even when our voice shakes. If you can't tell, my voice is a little shaky because I'm a little nervous to do this for the first time. And also, I have been dealing with allergies for the past 2 weeks. So I have this uncontrollable cough that I'm trying to get rid of. We also do small actions that are sustainable and surrender the rest. I think it's really important to, focus on the small things and really get good at them and realize that the rest is just going to take place. We are our own permission slip. We take our heart with us. We lead by example, and we share our magic. So I wanted to start with this quote. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. And isn't that the truth? That's how I look at marketing. A lot of people don't understand what marketing is. They think it's this big, huge deal, and it's really not. And I'm hoping that after today you have a little bit better understanding and you just feel better about the whole process of marketing yourself or your business. So I am here to tell you today that really all marketing is a ton of trial and error. There really is no one-way track to marketing for everyone. Anyone that tries to tell you or try to sell you some sort of formula that is guaranteed to work with you without really knowing you and your business is full of it. There is no one size fits all. And one big thing that I believe is that you are the one who knows and has the passion behind your business and why you started it in the first place. And this is why you are the best one to do your own marketing. It's all totally an individual process for everyone, which is why I love what I do. And I choose to only work one-on-one with a limited number of clients, like I said in the beginning, because I end up being a true part of their team and their business. I invest my heart, my time, and my knowledge for each and every one of them. But I also still like to reach out into the world, which is what I'm doing now and sharing my 7-step process with you. I see some of my clients are on here, and that is super exciting for me. And I just wanted to let you know before we start that I am so honored that you're all here, investing your time with me to learn something that really is dear to my heart. I'm going to take a drink here, and we will start out with step number 1. So this process, I guess before we start, I just want to say that this process can be used in any sort of creative process. I use this, and I know 7 steps may seem like a lot, but really once you see us get going, it'll kind of hopefully make sense, and realize that it's really not that big of a deal. But I use this process in everything that I do, in every social media post that I make, online. And I guess that's kind of probably what I'm going to refer to mainly as we're going through this, just because it's kind of the easiest one to just explain through. So step number 1 is visualize. It's important to start any marketing project by starting with visualizing whatever is in alignment with your business brand or your service. This first step is important to really just take the time and sit in and immerse yourself with what it would feel like if your business as a whole was exactly where you envision it to be. You could choose to imagine what it would look like to be to the next step or the next phase, or you could just picture what your big picture goal is for the way far out there future. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you choose to focus on for this step is up to what feels right for you. The first step is important, mainly because many times as we're moving through the business world, we often get lost in the details and forget what we're even doing this for. Who can relate to that? Most of us start our journey owning our own business for the freedom, the spontaneity, or the joy of helping others that working for yourself can bring. Taking the time to seriously remember the joyful state that we are always trying to get to is important. This will help you gain clarity on your mission and intention with the specific project you are about to work on. And as you continue moving forward and using each of these steps with you, like once you first start working through these steps, it'll take a little bit more time. But so when you do this with your first project, your next one, it'll be a lot easier to visualize because you'll start getting more and more clarity to where you see yourself and your business going. Okay, so step number 2 is to set intention. So after visualizing, it's time to set your intention for whatever project you're working on. An intention is not the same as an outcome, and it's really important to remember that. An intention is what you're intending to be as you move through this project. An outcome is a specific desired result that you're expecting. A lot of people, that you think you set an intention, and going back to the social media post, oh, my intention is I want to get 500 likes on this post. Well, that's the outcome, and that's not what the goal is, what to be striving for. For many heart-centered employers or entrepreneurs, the goal is to be good, to do highest good for the world around you. So I suggest just to you can't really set your intention for an outcome because you will not be able to stay true to your intention, no matter what the outcome is, because there's no way of knowing what the outcome will be. So, just to help you understand a little bit better, like for example, you could choose to set your intention, you could use an affirmation that you use or some sort of mantra, or just I am love, I am here to be love. And or wisdom if you're trying to teach someone. It kind of depends on what the project is that you're working on. But it's important to carry that intentional trait with you as you are creating whatever it is you're about to share with the world. You really need to be your intention through this whole process. All right, and then step number 3 is to create. So the intentions behind step 1 and 2 are just to help you get to a place of creativity. A lot of times for me, anyways, I need to be intentional about creating. It does come from true inspiration, but to actually get in that creative place, I need to really be intentional about it. Because you get blocked by imposter syndrome, or all these blocks that just get in the way of what you're trying to actually do. It can come from true inspiration, and steps 1 and 2 will come and pass very quickly. Hold on a second. I think I might have lost my feed. Or my phone's just being goofy. Okay, sorry guys. I just want to make sure that I can see comments. If you guys have any questions during this, feel free to put them in the comments. I won't really address any questions till the end, but if you're afraid you're going to forget it, please just put it in there. Um, but anyways, um, so your intention can come from true inspiration. Steps 1 and 2 can come very easily. Um, but either way, it's time to create. And the question to ask yourself really is, what is it you're inspired to create? So is it a social media post, an email campaign, a video, a Facebook Live? It really doesn't matter what project you're working on. It does matter that you are in and maintain a creative mental space. So you need to take the time to really do that and be able to stay there. Because many of us have blocks when it comes to creativity, like I said before. But it really is possible to overcome these blocks, and that's really with intention. I truly believe that if you get a voice of doubt in your head that says that it's too hard or you can't do this, you're not good enough, you're actually on the right track. Because growth does not happen inside your comfort zone. It happens just outside of it. And I say this all the time. So if you follow me, you're going to hear that on repeat because it is so true. I'm going to say it again. Growth does not happen inside your comfort zone. It happens just right outside of it, but not so far out, just outside of it, just outside that line where you're just a little bit uncomfortable. That's where the magic happens. And another thing that you really need to remember while you're creating to kind of get the voices like, oh, who's going to like this? Who's going to be inspired by this? Who's going to relate to it? You really need to remember that your work is not for everyone. The entire world is not your market. Not everyone is on the same wavelength as you, and not everyone can hear what you have to say. And that is okay. Remember this and remember this often. Seriously. When creating anything from the heart, it's important to remember that even if you are creating this project or whatever for just one person, you let that energy propel you. And I say it all the time because it is so true. Know that whoever is meant to see your creations will. You need to feel it and you need to know it. So after you created whatever it is you're looking to create, the next step is to share. After you have visualized it, you set the intention, you created from the heart, and the universe is ready to hear what you have to say. You share your passion, your wisdom, and your knowledge. So when I make a post or I send an email or I'm about to get any of my creations out into the world, I set it all up. Like I put the comment, the hashtags, the whatever I'm going to say about it. And then I close my eyes and I make sure that the way that I am feeling in that moment reflects whatever it is that I'm about to share. If it all aligns, that is when I hit send or share or put it out there. And not a second before I'm in alignment with my message. I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I've tested this theory many, many times. And you can go back and look at my social media posts. The ones with the most likes are truly the ones that I felt one with right before hitting post. And this is also a good time to talk about momentum. Please don't let yourself get attached to the amount of likes or shares or anything like that when it comes to your posts. I have seen it over and over again that what you are putting out there gets viewed and shared when it is meant to. Once you have been at it for a while, a post that you make like 2 years ago will get into someone's new awareness and that momentum will pick up again. Truly created posts with these steps behind them. And please do not delete any of your posts just because they didn't get as many likes as you thought they would in your head. Trust the process. Not only this marketing process I'm teaching you, but the process of life unfolding. We live in such an instant world where everyone is so used to instant gratification. It's funny because now We carry a calculator, a cookbook, the Encyclopedia Britannica, probably dating myself there, but we carry all of that in our pockets. It is so hard these days to remember that the timeline that we have in our heads is not the same timeline that is going to happen. Please stay open to the process of life and understand that when you are truly open and not attached to the outcome that happens or will happen is better than you could ever expect to happen. Please remember that. So the next step then is to show up. To teach, to guide, and explain. And I love this graphic here. Let your intuition guide you. You are what you've been looking for. I write daily. I make myself remember that. So now that you have put your energy out into the world, you've shared it, it's time to guide people to your creation. You can do this by teaching them the value in it or pointing them in the direction to find what they're looking for. And I prefer to refer to this step in the process as guidance. You're guiding people to your service or product or whatever you're offering. And because I'm not a salesperson and I do not like sales at all. But the reality is a part of having a business is sales. And I'm not in this to make $1 billion in 30 days and make myself overworked and overstressed. For me, and I know for a lot of heart-centered entrepreneurs, I would prefer, excuse me, I would prefer to work with and sell to the right people. People who will not stress me out, complain about everything, and have no idea where I'm coming from or anything like that. I want to work with individuals that see the value in what I'm selling or offering without having to over explain myself. And that's funny because I tend to over explain lots of things. And this has been a huge learning process for me that I'm starting to stop doing because either they get it or they don't. It's not your job and it is not part of an effective marketing to have to over explain anything. Like I said in one of the previous steps that your clients will find you. The right people will find you. And I'll get into that a little bit more in a second. But some explanation is obviously necessary. But holding a conversation that is taking too much work for you to get it out isn't meant to be, and you are more likely not going to make the sale anyways. Because consumers usually know within the first few moments if it's a possibility for them to buy or not. So remember that. All that is going to happen by having a lengthy conversation over explaining yourself. It's going to make you feel like a sleazy salesperson and just make you feel icky. And that is probably not where you want to be. So just remember when you're guiding and teaching others about what you have to offer, that it comes with an element of ease. You don't want to be selling anything. You won't have to be selling anything. With the right intention and process, it will sell itself. After your creation is out into the world, start paying attention to the cues because they'll come to you to bring up your product or service. Just having this and keeping this in your awareness will bring the right clients or customers right to you. Maybe not as fast as you're expecting, but letting go of these expectations will really bring them faster than you think. Marketing with the heart is really the process of letting go and allowing the process of life to be in control. Okay, so step number 6. I'm going to take a drink because this one's a hard one here. So step 6 is the process to allow yourself to be open to receive and accept the energy exchange in the form of money for your insight, wisdom, and sharing a part of yourself. Lots of us heart-centered entrepreneurs work with a heart of service, and it's easy to just want to help and receive nothing in return. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't ever volunteer or serve things that are close to your heart, but your business is your business. And you need to not make it a practice to offer tons of discounts or freebies to customers that are willing to pay. Chances are, if they're interested in what you have to offer, they will gladly pay you for it because it will help them or it'll make their life easier in some way. People value that. They really do. And you should not devalue yourself by offering yourself too cheap with discounts or lots of freebies. I just want to share a little story of how I really was, how I decided to learn how to receive because I was never really good at that, and I'm still working on it. We're all a work in progress right now. Um, when I was bartending, I bartended in a bar, and there was, you have your regular customers, and one of the guys that came in, he came in every day. He drank a Diet Mountain Dew, and he would sit there for hours just for the company. He was alone. He lived across the street, and he just sat there to, hang out with whoever's coming around. And he wasn't very well off, and he paid for his sodas, and he would leave, and he never left a tip. And he ended up having some medical things and getting some sort of a settlement, and he came into it one day and he handed me $100 bill, and I was like, what? You don't need to do this. What? Like, that's a lot of money. And I was trying to like not take it from him and give it back, like, you don't need to do this. And he was in tears, like this old Vietnam vet, like hardcore dude, in tears, just saying that, I just want you to know that I appreciate the fact that I came in here every day for the past 3 years and sat here, and you served me exactly how you served everybody else, knowing that you weren't going to get a tip from me. And that moment I realized that, him this is his way of showing his appreciation for me. And that was my real first step of allowing myself to be able to receive. um Another thing I want to bring up that with this step is another form of receiving that goes along with this is to remain open to whatever comes in, because your next client or customer might not be the one that you were guiding toward you in the previous step. But it is very possibly that it could be from someone that they mentioned you to, because leaving a positive impact really is the point, right? So you do that and you'll receive the right clients or customers. While you're guiding and teaching, allow and realize, while you're pointing them to your products or your services, that the person you're talking to knows people too, and that kind of expands your circle, and leaving a positive impact with them allows you to reach further and farther. Okay, so how are we all feeling here? We're gonna go on to the next step here. The last one is super easy. The last step of this process is really to just reflect on all the steps. While you're going through these steps, it might help to take notes through each process so that you can look back, or just look back on the outline and just think about how the process was going for you. So you can determine what worked well for you and what didn't. Now, this, along with life itself, is a learning process, and it can take you time for you to get comfortable with it. And even if something didn't work the way you thought it would the first time, I want you to not throw it away right away. Try looking at it or going at it from a different angle or a different direction. Because so many times, maybe it was just one part of the process just wasn't the right timing, and here's a review of all the steps. So I really want to emphasize that just because something maybe didn't work the way that you expected it to, if it really aligned with you and your heart and your mission, to try it again and see what happens, because maybe just the timing was off. in life and this marketing process, it's all about practice and just practice. Practice makes perfect, right? So I just want to, like I said in the beginning, marketing really is a bunch of trial and error. And I think that that's the fun in it. It's been, I want you to remember too that they've said publicly, like, even if publicity is bad, it's still publicity. So even if I mean, you don't want bad, but maybe it's just not good. And just realize that it's awareness, because marketing is all about awareness and making connections. It's about getting your message out into the world for people to grab onto. And I want to kind of wrap this up and then we can do some questions. I think we're lagging a little bit because I still have the previous slide up. So maybe I'll just talk for a little while and try to get some questions. But one of my favorite quotes, I'm just gonna find it here and read it. It's from the LinkedIn founder, one of the LinkedIn founders, Reid Hoffman. He says, "If you are not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched it too late." So whatever you're creating right now, especially using this process behind it, was meant to be shared with the world. Please remember that. And just think, I love doing this. Years down the line, you will have the ability to look back at your creations from right now, what you're about to create, and reflect on how much you have grown. And to me, that really is something great to look forward to and be proud of. I have lots of I've been doing this for a long time, and I love the whole Facebook memory thing that it kind of throws it back in your face, like, oh, this is where you were 3 years ago. And it's like, oh, I created that 3 years ago. And like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Like, that's embarrassing. But at the same time, at that time, it was good. And I got positive things from it then. And you only get better, because really, marketing and life is a practice. You just practice. You just got to keep doing it. And like I said before, one thing that I really want you to try to work on is shifting your mindset. And this goes along with my reframing the whole marketing concept. When you hear the word marketing, think of connections, connections and awareness, because that's really what it is. Okay, and then if you resonate with any of this, or this feels good or right to you, I just invite you to follow me on Facebook, Cusp of Life Coaching. I'm also on Instagram. I also have a YouTube channel and am on Pinterest. And our any contact information, my email, Nicole at cuspculture.com. My Cusp of Life coaching website is just cuspoflifecoaching.com. And the community, like I explained before, at Cusp Culture, where you can get to know all of my amazing clients, is cuspculture.com. And like I said before, we do have a podcast, True and Unpolished. We also have a shop featuring artwork by one of my clients. She does amazing mandala work that you can get on t-shirts and pillows and coffee cups and all kinds of stuff like that. And we're also doing a blog post, and we are working on creating some online courses, which is going to be super awesome and super cool. So stay tuned for that. And in Cusp Culture 2 is on Facebook as well. On I'm just gonna put my camera up so I can see you guys, or you can see me. And then I can also, hi. Um, what was I saying? Cusp Culture is also on Facebook, Cusp Culture, and also on Instagram, we are Cusp Culture, is the handle for that. So I just want to say too that I use this process for a lot more than just marketing. And it 7 steps is kind of a lot, but at the same time, it all flows and becomes one. So it really is easier to do it the more you do it. I recently started painting and part of my process is, this, sitting down and visualizing it and it's just a creative. I don't expect it to go anywhere other than hanging up on my walls here, but it's so freeing to me to just have that creative outlet. That's what I love about one of my clients too. She does art therapy, and that's going to be one of the online courses that we're working on is creating more artistically in your life and how really important it is. I'm really surprised at this lag time. Because, oh, technology, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful when it's working? And let's see here. 1 second, sorry. Go to myself. So, like I said, you guys, this is my first time ever doing this, and I've attended a lot of like Facebook live events like this. Um, and I really would appreciate any feedback you got. If you want to comment here or if you want to shoot me a message or email and just kind of give me some feedback on it. Because this is something that I use and totally works for me. And I really think that if you guys, start using it, um, you can you can let me know, your thoughts on it because you can totally tailor it to yourself and what works for you. Because I mean, there's people out there that have marketing teams, and I really think that marketing comes best when it comes from the heart and when you're doing your own marketing, and it really doesn't have to be overwhelming. Oh, and I wanted to mention too that I did put up at the top of this that I started creating a content calendar for social media, something that you can use to just kind of get inspired. A big part of marketing is just visibility, to be, you know, out there in the awareness of it. Um, so it is important to post and post often. And this way you can um, be visible and stay in people's awareness. And they're just prompts of, what do you got going on today? And, take a selfie, or it's kind of put out there for you so that you don't have to think about it and you can just do it, and you can schedule, your posts ahead of time. So if you're interested in that, you can click on the link, and it asks for your email, and then it'll send you to a page to I just have August, September, and October right now, and within the next couple of days I'll be done with November and December, and put those out there as well, so you can find those there too. Um, oh, so I see the lag time here. My face is up, um, but I'm not seeing any questions. So I'm just gonna wrap this up and say thank you so much, you guys, for showing up here today. I really hope that there's something that you took away from this. And like I said, I would really, really appreciate it if you would let me know, like, what was the biggest takeaway for you? Or if you have any feedback of, something that might work better or something for me to look at like that, I appreciate that as well. And I see Cindy commented here, it's not scary when you think about it as connections. And that really is my whole goal, because I mean, marketing isn't scary to me. I've been doing it for a long time, but I wanted to reframe the whole concept because, and I've said before, like, I got introduced at my last position as marketing and events coordinator, and sometimes you get a look like, oh, she's trying to sell me something, like, oh, and it's like, no, like I believe in this, like my heart is in this, like I'm not trying to anything, because I know that what's good for me may not be good for you, and to me, reframing the whole concept of marketing was a really big thing, and I just took all the terms that are commonly used in marketing, and I shifted them in a way to make them more understandable and to really, make them feel good, and switching from marketing to connection really is a big one. So I'm glad that you appreciate that, because I think it's huge. It's huge. It's totally doable. It's totally doable to, capture this and do this by yourself. All right, well, I just want to thank you all for coming, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I don't know. We'll see what happens next. Have a good day. I got to figure out how to stop myself here. And there's my screen. Thank you guys so much.